Hi guys, Chiko here with the You Are LimitLess Podcast. I want to make a tiny note before we get started. When I recorded initially, the microphone that I was using was not so great. And so the first two episodes are going to be a little bit staticky, but just bear with me because we have fixed it by episode 3. So hang in there. It gets really good just from this episode alone. So thank you for co-creating this experience with me and enjoy. You Are Limitless, or YALL for short. Hello friends, my name is Chiko Nweke, welcoming you to the very first episode of You Are Limitless. I'm so excited to be here with you on this journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment. I've been on a healing spiritual journey myself for the past few years now and have noticed an astronomical change in my life in terms of how I go about living, the choices that I make, the behavior changes that I see in myself, the self-awareness, the expansion, all of that I contribute to this healing journey that has just inspired me to be more of myself and to be that conduit for others to follow their suit, follow their passions, follow their excitement, and to conquer those limiting negative beliefs that keep us stuck in a disempowered perpetual state of depression and negativity. That's what I'm here to talk about. Getting out those yucky, limiting negative beliefs that keep us in the same vibration, that keep us manifesting the same of what we don't want over and over and over again. Many individuals, just like me, have experienced childhood abuse, substance abuse, systematic oppression, etc. And then just kind of truck through life, never healing, never learning a different way of being, thinking that they're fine, yet the past still has such a negative, powerful emotional charge that holds us back from our limitless potential. Sometimes we see movie stars or influencers and we're like, what is so special about them? Nothing more than you. We all have that capability of being able to step into our passion and ignite that spark that exists, that's there, that's innate, that is ours. And through the trials and errors and strife and struggle, we have been taught out of our power. We have been conditioned to believe that we can't. We have been conditioned to believe that we're not worthy. And by all means, we have to honor the things that have led us to who we are today. But we can also transform some of those things if they're not working for us anymore. In short, the past is governing the present moment for many people rather than it being used as a tool for elevation, love, self-reflection, acceptance, and growth. The ACE test, Adverse Childhood Experience exam, provides insight on how much adverse or traumatic experiences one has had. A score typically of 4 or more out of 10 means that that person or child has experienced traumatic life events. Technically, a score of 1 can also be traumatic depending on what that one thing is. I have an ACE score of 8, friends. I saw and experienced abuse. I never finished high school because of my inability to concentrate in school due to the adversity, and I couldn't tell people what was going on. In my 20s, I got heavily addicted to drugs. I will share more of my story later on, but the point of me bringing this up now is to give you guys insight on where I'm coming from and to show you that sometimes the darker, the harder the experiences we are experiencing, the further into the light we propel ourselves. If we so chose to walk that path of self-growth, self-empowerment, limitlessness. Here we are. I've never finished high school. Now I have a degree in legal studies. And I'm currently, at the time of this recording, a law school candidate. Everybody told me that I could never be anything. I could never do this. I would never amount to anything because of the life that I had lived, because of the choices that I was making. It takes owning that responsibility and also being so radically honest and accepting of who you are. Everything about manifestation that we're hearing, because it is a huge buzzword these days about the law of attraction and manifestation. In my opinion, none of these tools will be as effective if there are still negative limiting beliefs hiding in our psyche and showing up in our behavior. We want to break the idea of continuity with the things we do not want in order to allow for the blessings that is already innately ours just by simply existing to come to fruition, to come into the light. So how are we going to do all this? How do we get to those limiting beliefs that are negative? Because there are such thing as positive limiting beliefs. For example, a positive limiting belief could be someone who decides to get out of a relationship and go no contact with that person because that's not a healthy relationship to be in. That would be a positive limiting belief. There are positives, and we want to go for those. However, what we are focusing on are the negative limiting beliefs that keep us stuck. And so we're going to do that through different modalities. We're going to learn different meditation techniques. We're going to learn from other people as well, listen to their stories. We're going to learn from my story because my story is a powerful one that is very relatable. If you've ever dealt with abuse, if you've ever dealt with drug abuse, there are so many individuals who have been taught out of believing that they are good. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're good. You're good. To me, it does not matter who you were in the past, what you've done. There still is this sense of growth that can be had in any situation. If we take the judgment out, the goal is to not be judgmental, but to be discerning. And this is something that I learned in my spiritual teachings, but also while I was studying for the law school admission test. You have to learn to take out the judgments in order to see clearly what you are reading, what you're trying to understand, and to derive the most logical answer out of that problem. That's exactly life. If we take the judgment, the sting out of that, now we're left with what is. And then from there, we can also really see internally the answers that we look for, that we try to fill when we can't find it with substances and sex that does not generate positivity anyways. And other behaviors that we wish to correct. I hear it all the time. I hear it with my clients. I hear it in general. And so over time, there's a sense of disconnect. And when we feel disconnected from the self, anything happens. Nothing matters. But when we start to reconnect, we start rebalancing, we start correcting the imbalances, we literally are changing the neural structure of our brain, and we can do it. We can. We don't have to continue the patterns that we continue. I did not have to get clean if I didn't want to from drugs, and just literally creating and implementing self-destructive behaviors that not only was self-destructive to me, but also affected those around me in a negative way. And it's really easy to point at everyone else for why things are a certain way. I can easily just say, well, I just had a bad childhood. And in some sense, it's valid in terms of maybe why the behavior has shown up in the way that it has. But it's also that opportunity to be able to get in there and figure out, okay, I recognize this. I have brought awareness to this. Let's go ahead and add some tools into this idea and basically test it. Go against the grain, go against the conditions, go against the habit. Here's the thing. You remember how I said earlier that none of the tools would work if the blockages are there and whatnot? We're talking about getting rid of the blockages that create the reality to which we do not want. A blockage could be, for example, let's say you were in an abusive relationship. I use relationship analogies a lot sometimes because it's really relatable. We've all been there. Everything is relationship, whether it's a relationship to this microphone that I'm having right now that is transmuting my voice into the computer, or if it's with another person or animal or reality itself. Everything is relationship. So you get out of this relationship and wonderful. This is great. This is a step in the right direction, is getting out of the relationship and then going no contact. Now, let's say that this person gets out of this relationship and doesn't really do anything in terms of healing, but just kind of trucks along, as I've said before, goes to work, takes care of the kids, whatever the situation may be, but there's no therapy or any type of other practices that are geared towards healing from that wound. What that wound becomes is a blockage. That blockage gets lodged into the body, so to speak, and it tells you never again. This is where some people swear off men, or swear off women, or swear off non-binaries, or swear off everybody in general. This is where it happens because it's a protection technique, so that does not happen again. That abuse does not happen again. It creates a blockage because there's a belief that if I do not have my guard up, then I will get hurt again. That could be seen as a positive belief because you're definitely guarding yourself from hurting again in that way, but it also limits what could be because of the past, again, as I've said, having such a powerful negative charge, and it's literally controlling the present, not because it automatically does that, but because of the beliefs that one has over that situation. There's this belief of, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to be in an abusive relationship again. So then it translates to swearing off all people or swearing off a particular gender. And that in turn swears off all the other potential people who could be great candidates for growth in a relationship. And it also discredits the growth that can be seen in the past relationship as well, because everything is a teacher. Everything is a teaching tool. So we learn that we don't want to experience that abuse. We figure out, well, why was that abuse there to begin with? Now, I'm not saying that there has to be a deep dive of every little piece of nook and cranny of BS that is wedged in the body, wedged in the heart, closing off the chakras. That's not what I'm saying. But for those things that do pop up that could need attention in that way, it feels really liberating to know that, wow, I now have that control. I now have that power to use this information for positive. So I learned that the reason why I put up with this relationship, this abuse, was because I have a high tolerance for BS. So maybe, just maybe, I can learn boundaries. Maybe I could implement certain ideas and ways of measuring who's a good candidate next time. Maybe I won't move so fast. Maybe I'll take the rose-colored glasses off and keep them off. As a matter of fact, throw them away. That's how we start to feel our power, feel our limitlessness, because now we're in control again. Now we're not basing these ideas of never again will I out of fear. But we're doing it out of empowerment because we know what we deserve. We know who we are. We know that we are loved. And so this process can be as long as short as you need it to be. The growth is unreal. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And I want to be here with you for this growth, for this journey. I want to be a part of that gift. I'm sharing my gift. You have a gift to give to those around you, to the world at large, in general, just by being who you are. So to close out this episode, I do want to thank you guys for being with me. Remember that you are loved. You are loved. We are here to grow together, to learn. I'm so glad to be with you guys on this journey. And I'm so glad to have you on my journey because this is an energy exchange and we have so much to learn. I'm so glad to have you guys with me. Again, my name is Chiko. You can find out more information in the show notes. I will be posting more. I would probably try and do an episode a week. I will be getting my website up. And when you're acting on your excitement, you don't have to have all the pieces in place. That's what I've learned through this process, is that I don't have to have all the pieces figured out. Sometimes when we sit there and try to figure out how everything is going to be, we can psych ourselves out of doing something. We can stop ourselves from doing something because all the pieces aren't there. So all the pieces aren't here, but they are exactly where I need them to be and things are coming to fruition. So just bear with me. You can find me at Instagram as Madam Chiko, which I will again put that in the show notes. This is my personal account. We are definitely going to be going a little bit more live on business account. But in the meantime, thank you guys for joining me here. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, share this with your family, get the word out because the goal is to get as many high vibrating individuals acting on their passion, acting on their excitement, and not being ruled by fear. Let's continue to grow together. We got this because what? You are limitless, y'all. See you next time.